The Simpsons is a long-running and revered, well, maybe not the latest season's, animated series of which currently 695 episodes have been made. It amazes me that the show's never been acknowledged on YouTube before. One of the greatest episodes is Season 7's 21st title, 22 Short Films About Springfield, made back in the 90s, in which brief events in the lives of multiple Springfielders are shown. It's essentially 22 short films about Springfield. Oh, that's why they called it that. At long last, the title makes sense to me. This simple formula invites endless degrees of creative freedom, energy and complexity while adhering to the show's uniquely advanced and varied humour. That includes subtle, intelligent fourth wall acknowledgements, eclectic dialogue and controllably outlandish situations, all of which are united by a cohesive flow. These short stories are entirely separate, though linear thanks to interconnected visual techniques. For example, the episode opens with Bart and Milhouse, who enter the Quickie Mart and interact with Apu. The episode then briefly follows Apu. His segment ends with a radio station being heard that's also being listened to by Marge and Lisa. The episode then briefly follows them, etc. The show's plethora of characters are all utilised in a manner that best represents their chief individual assets, never exhausting a particular concept as a result of being shown in small doses. This is made possible by the show's even then firmly established and versatile world building, courtesy of a capable writing team. 22 short films about Springfield features an unsurprisingly high number of writer credits, possibly more than 22, maybe even 22 and a half. I'm guessing Professor Frink's half scene was written by half a writer. To further enhance the episode's variety and personality, character-appropriate theme tunes and title cards appear during certain extracts, and while I do intend to highlight some favourite segments before this is done, it's important to acknowledge a staple of the show that's noticeably displayed in this episode: tasteful pop culture references. I've enlisted licensed and certified friend Thomas Austin to analyse these. He'll particularly highlight the influence from a certain Tarantino film, which itself was influenced by certain themes found within Pulp fiction novels. Yes, that's right. The Tarantino film I'm referring to is Kill Bill. Wait, no, sorry. Pulp Fiction. Tom's segment will primarily analyse a scene featuring Chief Wiggum, Snake and Herman. Take it away, Tom, while I prepare for an unforgettable luncheon.
Well, Connor, I made it, despite your directions. But I'm not here to talk about steamed hams. I'm pretty sure the internet has already done enough of that. I'm here to talk about Pulp Fiction instead, a film that's incredibly under the radar, nobody has ever mentioned before, and I'm pretty sure it didn't make much money. Honestly, it's incredibly surreal to watch The Simpsons reference Pulp Fiction. As seeing beloved characters like Chief Wiggum and Snake just tied up to these chairs with ball gags in their mouth is just strange. The good thing about this though is that the section is overall absolutely brilliant. It's just so funny with their offhanded references to McDonald's claiming they must have sprung up overnight, and Chief Wiggum just naively identifying Snake and asking for his insurance details after he blatantly runs him over. On top of that, the references themselves are on point, which is to be expected from The Simpsons. I mean, the music is from the film itself. I mean, when Chief Wiggum takes a bite out of the burger, that's straight from Pulp Fiction. And you could argue that the structure of 22 Shorts About Springfield is in reference to Tarantino's style, because a lot of the sections just link into each other, like Smithers gets stung by a bee, now they're at the hospital, let's follow Dr. Nick for a bit. It's just amazing how perfect of a character Herman is for this, because without him they probably would have had to have made up some weird random one-off character just to fit this. This is one of the darkest things that Herman has ever done. I think it would be funny if they reference this later when he tries to sell counterfeit jeans in Marge's garage.
Sorry, Tom, I saw Convertible. You were saying?
I'm not the only one who liked this sketch. I'm pretty sure everybody liked this when it came out, because stuff like Entertainment Weekly called the section absolutely priceless, and Empire called it the 7th best film gag in the show, and the ball gag section is the sickest joke in Simpsons history. So overall, this part of the episode was really well received, and it actually does stand out compared to everything else. Well, I'm going to pass you back on to Connor now. Pretty sure he's done with his isometric exercises. He asked if I cared to join him, but I was too distracted by the smoke coming out of his oven.
Oh, that isn't smoke, it's steam. Also, thank you, Tom, for providing me with a perfect opportunity to discuss my favourite segment, Skinner and the Superintendent, also known as steamed hams. It's a scene I've been dangerously obsessed with for years, an obsession further fueled by the various YouTube edits to which I've contributed. You can watch my version if you want, you obviously don't have to, but please watch it, I'm a desperate man. You obviously don't have to. For context, the scene shows Superintendent Chalmers attended an unforgettable luncheon hosted by Seymour Skinner. When Seymour burns his roast and attempts to disguise purchased fast food as his own cooking, oh, delightfully devilish Seymour, he must deliver a series of inconsistent and increasingly bizarre lies to escape the wrath of Superintendent Chalmers. Also, his house has caught fire courtesy of the ruined roast. The sketch geniusly navigates several sitcom-style mishaps and magnifies them to an extreme yet measured absurdist degree with complete self-awareness, complemented by the modern deadpan witticisms of the dialogue and the firmly established relationship between the two characters. Skinner and the Superintendent has truly earned its iconic status. Without ever making any attempts at charisma, through his casual compliance with the absurdity surrounding him, the Superintendent manages to charm us. I'm thankful that other episodes allowed us to see more of this dynamic. Another favourite segment is Cleatus the slack-jawed yokel. I should explain who Cleatus is. Right. He's a slack-jawed yokel. Good thing I clarified that, eh? In his segment, Cleatus offers some boots he found to his wife Brandine. She declines, so he returns them to the telephone wire upon which they were initially found. This deliberately underwhelming narrative is punctuated by an energetic, melodic, bluegrass theme song that hilariously juxtaposes the mundane nature of the sketch. Alongside this, the unique rhythmic and casually humorous speech patterns of the characters, and the rapid subversive humour it presents, allows this sketch to perfectly capture the character-driven comedy that this episode and this series overall aims to create. My final highlighted segment involves a tall motorist taking revenge on local bully Nelson after he's laughed at. The character's formal vocabulary and humorous delivery, and his treatment of Nelson fluctuating from cathartic to excessively cruel, since the fact remains that Nelson is a child, and this new character created solely for the purposes of this scene as a grown man, a very grown man, means that a dark and comical tonal balance is perfectly achieved. Another strength of this segment is its immediate connection with other sketches. It begins with the conclusion of Lisa's segment, and ends when Nelson's public humiliation results in him being attacked with ketchup and mustard by Bart and Milhouse, who were found in the same situation as they were in the very first scene of the episode. Therefore, a full circle narrative is satisfyingly crafted. The final scene offers a genius piece of meta-comedy when Bart acknowledges that some Springfielders' stories will go untold due to time constraints, causing Professor Frink to charge on screen, desperate to share his story as the credits roll. Thanks to its energy, humour, and ambitious creativity, 22 short films about Springfield is a perfect Simpsons episode. My one criticism is that the episode may feature less than 22 shorts. I've never counted. Though if that is the case, I want the creative team to be able to sleep soundly in the knowledge that I forgive them. Yeah, that's right, a person they have absolutely no knowledge of, forgives them for something completely harmless that happened over 20 years ago. As with all Simpsons episodes, 22 short films about Springfield is readily available on Disney+. While I prepare to party like it's on sale for $19.99 and call my ma, "Hi Ma, get off the dang roof," I invite you to mention your favourite segment in a comment below. Everyone had a story to tell in this episode. There's just not enough time to analyse them all. Some folk'll never eat a skunk, and then again some folk'll like Cleatus, the slack-jawed yokel. Professor Frank, he makes you laugh, he makes you think, he likes to run with the person